What's up guys, Isaac here, also known as the RC Enthusiast, and today we're taking a look at the most updated 2025 Traxxas Unlimited Desert Racer, also known as the UDR. So let's get this thing cracked open. First things first, TQI remote. And now, what version did I get? Oh, I probably have it in the title. We have the new Fox Edition all orange. Get the plastic off this thing. And there we go. It's a very vibrant orange. I'm not too sure if it comes through, but it's definitely construction cone, construction site orange. Like, this is very, very vibrant. But yeah, ooh, you can tell. Look at that work. I'll bring you guys down up close. Now that I got you guys back here at ground level, we could really see some of the intricacies of this new paint scheme, and it looks pretty cool. This black and silver pattern they got going on here is pretty sweet, and the associate sponsors are awesome as always. Where it loses me though is the front. Why is it so orange? I have no idea. Why couldn't they have given us this pattern and put a little bit up here for some contrast, or at least made the valence like black or something? The last thing that irks me is the headlight decals. Why do we just get outlines? Like, it looks so toyish, it looks so bland. I think the only previous version of the UDR that came with headlight decals was the blue one, the blue DR. Aside from that, we haven't really gotten anything. Why can't Traxxas give us a Raptor-esque or a Silverado, or just something that looks better than this for such a pro scale and such a realistic looking and driving vehicle? It would have been nice to have. She looks good from the back though. Check out this suspension travel, just insane. They nailed the setup. People always ask me in my videos, what's my setup, what's my shock weight, what shocks do I use? It's all stock. Like, they absolutely crush it with the out of the box suspension setup on this truck. For my people new to UDRs, here's some of the details back here. We got rubber limit straps. We have plastic sway bars front and rear. The front ones are a bit weak, but also you don't necessarily need to run a front sway bar. The rear ones are definitely nice to keep on and have though. Also, we have rear trailing arms. They might have updated these since the first ones. These look a bit more square, a little bit more sturdy, who knows? We also have metal upper trailing links. They are a little bit on the thin side, but for your standard forest driving, you should be fine. Now, I've brought you guys just a little bit closer so you could see the details under the body. So right here, the A-arms, nice, smooth plastic. It's gonna be able to glide over any terrain. Not only that, it looks super realistic. And if you wanna make your truck even more realistic, you can go ahead and buy yourself some aluminum upper A-arms. It'll add a really nice look to it, especially if you get it in like a silver or maybe an orange to match this color scheme. But also, it's not going to add a lot of weight. It won't really stress other parts. That's a pretty safe scale upgrade to make your truck just look all that more realistic. Coming down over here, we have the battery compartment. Let's open her up. Now, with this battery compartment, you do have to be mindful of what batteries you get. You can't just get, super thick 3S packs and, sandwich them. You can't even get a super thick 6S pack. They need to be able to fit in this compartment, which typically you're able to fit, two of the skinnier Traxxas 3S lipos and obviously the 2S lipos inside of. So just be very mindful for that with the battery choices. You also want to be mindful that the battery terminals are located right here, and that's actually its own piece above on the chassis. You could actually take them out, but they are mounted that way specifically. If you wanted to resolder them, you'd have to kind of modify it. Or if you decide to run adapters, just know that the extra wires would have to be squished in here, and then you'd have to get this piece back on. So it's really, they really make you want to run Traxxas batteries. I personally do, just for the ease of everything, but just be very mindful if you're going to use aftermarket batteries for that. Again, like I was mentioning, the trailing arms, we have the plastic bottom ones, the metal upper ones, and then here is your rear drive shaft. It also comes with a spare right up here. And if you're looking to beef this up, I would recommend the MIP one. The stock one never gave me any issues, but I just put the MIP one just to have a little bit more peace of mind. Also, I do want to recommend that you use some Lucas Oil red and tacky grease. Take this apart, put it over the ring and pinion on the diff, put it in your planetary, put it in the planetary here. Might as well do your front diff while you're at it, just to play it safe. These come pretty dry from the factory, so just something to keep in mind. My last UDR unboxing on this channel was all the way back in 2020 when I got my very first UDR. Since, I've had about 6 or 7 of them, and I completely love them. They're really the only reason I'm still into RC. So now with all that knowledge, I kind of wanted to show you guys what all I do to my UDRs when I get them so they perform and also look the best. So starting off with the most obvious one, antenna whips. Bad Andy RC, also known as Twisted Tree RC, does these awesome antennas in several different sizes, colors, styles, you name it, and they're relatively inexpensive. I'd recommend this for upgrading the scale look of your UDR right off the bat. It's pretty cheap, it's pretty easy. And also, check out my front pod lights on this one. These are actually off of Amazon. They come from MEUS Racing, and the front rack here is from Amalgam RC. You see the silver bracket there. That allows for you to add lights of this style into the vehicle if you don't want to run the typical bar lights. If you want something more realistic like these, well, realistic for certain trophy trucks, I would highly recommend that upgrade. And it doesn't break the bank either. A complete setup like this is going to be probably under $80, so something to definitely consider. Now for some stuff on the undercarriage. So as you could see, I have the MIP rear shaft like I mentioned before. Again, the stock one's probably not going to fail you, especially if you just run on 4S, but this thing is just beefy. I know I'm not going to have a problem with that one. I also have GPM Racing aluminum links. Aluminum links on the rear, aluminum links up top. These are significantly, where are they? Significantly thicker than the stock ones, and they look pretty cool. These are bright silver, so I'd also recommend doing that. Last but not least, you should definitely upgrade the steering on the UDR. The stock servo, it's gonna last you a while. It's gonna do its job. It's pretty laggy though. It doesn't have much torque at all. I'd recommend an EcoPower servo like this one right here. This is the WP200 Ti Titanium. This is going to be under $100. I'd highly recommend that for this vehicle. A few other EcoPower servos that I run, they're just a little bit more expensive. In this truck specifically, I have the WP832, which is absolutely incredible. The torque is just unreal. And also in my Terrible Herps truck, I run the WP250T. I use those in my race trucks also. Awesome, flawless, they've never failed me, and also the price isn't out of this world. So I'd highly recommend those EcoPower servos. That's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching and staying tuned. And if you wanna see these things in action, and if you wanna see where both this and this guy are gonna end up being and what they're gonna end up doing, stay tuned to my Instagram at RC Enthusiast. Check out all my sponsors, EcoPower RC, Quad Lock, One Stop RC Shop, and NorCal Hobbies if you're interested in any of the parts I've shown you, or if you want to actually buy one of these yourself. Thanks for watching, guys.